I'm going to create name phone industry. Then I'm going to click on add. Basically, that will be coming below, just given at the side level because of the space. Then, when you get this component should display. So when I enter, click on add. When I modify the data, enter the add, it should be displayed here. Is the requirement is clear? Requirement is clear. So when I enter the account record, click on add, that should be displayed at the bottom. Okay. Let's try to execute this requirement. First, I want an event, lightning event, account event. At any point you have a query, stop me and ask component. Then I'm giving here Jura attribute name equal to ACC. Name equal to. So it's an event with one attribute called ACC. So account record is going to be transferred from one component to another component. Is that point was clear? First one. Is that was clear for everyone? Right? Name of the event is add event. Then I'm going to create schedule. New account. I add a component called new account. Name equal to, type equal to, then default. Because I was supposed to enter the data. Right. I was giving lightning card. Okay. First, what I was supposed to do? Register. Then how do you register? Yeah. Register. Event name. As I'm giving some type C account. So any query on this? Add an event. Create a lightning card to insert new account record. Lightning card title set attribute actions Lightning. Action. Add. Then I was going to give Lightning input label account name value equal to, what was that, new account dot phone. Great. What was that? Somewhere we have given V dot.
Lightning button, lightning card spelling.
Right. N is missing. So, what was that? String. Somewhere comments I have not closed, I guess, properly. The comments I gave 3 lines because of which I got that error. Okay. Now we created a lightning card where account name, phone, industry, rating. Then when I click on add, what is happening? It is going to call C dot add. When I click on add, it is going to call add. So when I call add me, first it is going to read where account equal to, or let me say account equal to component dot get v dot. Then what is the line here? Read value of, get the value of attribute. Then what is the second step? Get the event whose name is Satish. How do you get it? Where my event component dot get event. The next one, set the value of attribute ACC in the event. My event dot set ACC. You got here. Then what we are supposed to do? Fire the event. Any query on this? Whatever the new account we have got, get that element. Whatever the new account we got, get that element. Then read the value of new account, get the event called Satish, then set the parameter called new account, file it. Right, Amma? So we have the next component here. Lightning component. Account list component. This will display list of accounts. So first, attribute, name, accounts, type, list, default. Then okay, write the handler. Fired by. How do you write it? Jura and the name equal to event C colon action right. Display the list of now. Do you remember the concept of data table? Again, we need to write some field labels and all this stuff. If you remember, I'll copy paste it. If not remember, I'll write the code again. Do you remember the code of data table? Do you remember or not? If you remembered, I'll just copy paste it. If you not remembered, I'll write the code.
Yeah, remember.
Right. Then I'll just copy paste it. Now look at this. Then I'll go to the component here. It is show. First, we are supposed to set the labels. How do you say? Field label, field name, label, field name, type. Label, field name, type. You are going to give label, field name, type. So here, let me not do this. Columns equal to label, account name. So field name is name, type text. So we have phone, field label, phone, text. Again we had industry. I just want to display like a text only. Industry. Then I had rating. Rating. I don't need all this stuff now. I don't need this. Now I just created a list of labels. Then I want to go to this component. Then go back. We're going to say component dot set v dot columns. Then whatever the event that is fired, get the account ACC value from the event. How do you fire it? Where ACC equal to event dot get param. Whatever the parameter you fired, I'm getting the parameter. Then get the value of accounts. Attribute accounts. How do you read it? Where accounts equal to component dot get v dot. Then add ACC to accounts. In the JavaScript, how do you add it? Accounts dot push. Then set the value of accounts to attribute accounts. Then how do you set it? Component dot set v dot this is what you do. So if you want to go for the data table, you can take this. So go back to this story. If you remember it, I'll copy it. If you not remember, let me know. I can re-explain the code. I can write the code again. Data table, key field, always it will be ID, because in the S object we recognize the data with the ID. Then what is the data you want to display? List of records. Now what are the columns we had? I said columns, here I said. Right. What is the column? Which columns you want to display? V dot. Okay, checkbox. Add the checkbox. Now data table, key field, data, list of records, columns, which fields you want to display, hide the checkbox. Only the problem we had here is the columns. When you want to write these columns, we need to write this story again. The columns we need to write a story like label, field name. Okay, that's the reason why we copy pasted the data. Right. So what happened? When the event is fired, automatically handler is calling. What handler is calling? It is setting the value of the fields. It is setting the value of fields. But the problem here is I cannot do it here. Why? Why? Look at the point. So here I want to define a handler, because when you call the component, it should be empty list. When you call the when you call list, it should be empty list. Initially it should be what? Empty list. Initially it should be what? Empty list. When you load the component, initially it should be what? Empty list. So what should I do? Handler equal to init. Whatever the story was there, this I was putting here. So when the component is loaded, automatically the fields are set. When the component is loaded, automatically fields are set. Initially it is going to be empty, right? Initially it is empty, but table should be displayed. No. Initially it is empty, but table should be displayed. Okay. Then how do you call the application? Let's look at the output first. I'll come back to explaining the components. Then I have a preview. Now this is a component. In this, look at this. Account name, phone, industry. Initially I was supposed to get that. It is an empty list. If I don't define this in the handler, then what will happen? Which fields you want to display? We don't know. We don't know which fields you want to display. If I don't define a handler, the values of the fields are not set. As the values of the fields are not set, it will throw error message. To avoid this, when the component is loaded, automatically, I told automatically set the fields. Automatically set the value of fields. Now here, what are you supposed to do? New account. Just to give some margin. I was supposed to apply some CSS to get the proper look. So if I put everything in a CSS, probably it will be Then apply the style. So you got the story here. Wipro. Energy. Right? So when I click on this, we are setting it. Once I click on the data, I want to reset the value again. To empty, you can reset it. Right, boss? So whatever the data I entered here, this data I was transferring to next element. Whatever the data I entered here, this data I was passing to next element. Whatever the data I entered here, I was passing this data to the parent component. Actually, this is the parent component. Parent component is displaying a list of record. On the top, we have one child component. Why? This component I can reuse it number of locations. If I build it as a single one, I cannot reuse it. If I build it as a number of individual components, reusability will be there and loading time also will be less. Loading time also will be less. I hope you are good with this. The people have followed this example. People have followed this example. Everyone is good with this example.
Satish, why not the earlier data is coming in the account, all the accounts?
Come again. Obviously, right?
Why?
It is a list.
No, why all the accounts is not coming?
All the accounts are coming, Amma. We are getting all the accounts, right? Two accounts are displayed here. This is Wipro and TCS. It is not a single record, right? You are able to see two records there. Now,
No, I think
now the context is the same. This is not independent context. This is not independent context. When you are taking a parent component, context is the same. When you reload the component, then it will be, if you reload the component as a fresh one, it will be empty. It is not reloading. Same context is maintained. See, boss, in the Visual Force page, when you say page reference to one more page, then what will happen? What will happen? Same context is getting transferred. Same context is getting transferred. It's not a new page. Are you getting my point? Here, when you are using a parent-child component, context is the same. The session is the same. Context is the same. It is not resetting. If you take an individual component and reload, old data will be lost. Right? It is the same context. Session, okay. Context is maintained. Context is maintained. There is a reason whatever the old data is there that we are getting. Okay. Only when you reload the entire page, the data will be lost. But still the session is running, right? Still the context is running. Still the context is running. The context is not closed. I hope you got my point. Right? Somebody from online, did you get the point, boss? Somebody from online who has asked me the question.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, shall we try this with the DML operation? Okay. Not shall, you are supposed to. Okay. Okay, we'll try the same example with the DML. Okay. So, what was this DML context? Look at the point. Here I told add. When I say add, record should be inserted to database. Now this component, what this component is doing? Writing a SQL query, displaying the data. When I click on add, that should insert the data into database, then fire the event. If you insert the data into database, if the operation is success, then fire the event. When you fire the event, what this should do? Again, it has to go to the Apex class, write the SQL query, fresh SQL query, get the data and display. Did you get my point? When I click on add, insert the data into database. When I click on add, insert the data into database. If the record was successfully inserted, then fire the event. When you fire the event, what the next component should do? It has to write a SQL query, get the fresh list of records, display it. Did you get my point? Right? Did you get my point? Right. So look at this example. Now, if you followed this example, some part of the code will copy paste it. Everyone has followed this example. This component is clear for everyone. First, add the component. Is it clear for everyone? Is that our component was clear for everyone? Right? Clear for everyone? Okay. Then look at this. Same context. Okay. New account DML. So here when you say add me, controller is going to be different. What this controller should do? Call the method from fx class. It has to call method from fx class. We are taking enable public static string we call this Similarly, I have one more method. Static list of account then right. The basic Apex programming. I hope there is nothing new about this to understand. Then what is the component you created here? DML example. DML example. Then what you are supposed to do? Where component dot get v dot. Then what we are supposed to do now? Where action equal to component dot get c dot. What is the method I created? Insert account. Then action dot set params. What is the parameter they are taking? ACC. Parameter name should be the same. ACC. We are passing ACC. Then $A NQ action. Then write the callback action. Action dot set comma response. Function response. Then we are going to say where state equal to response dot get if state equal to success. If state equal to success, where event equal to component dot get event. What is the event name? Remember, it's add account, right? Account add. What is the name of the event we give? Satish. Name of the event is Satish. Then EVT dot set params. Now, is it necessary to pass a data now? Not necessary. You inserted the data, just find the event. Because the previous example was take the data, pass the data to next one. But in this context, we need not pass the data. In this context, no need to pass the data. Simply fire the event. In this context, insert the record. If record was inserted successfully, fire the event. If record was inserted successfully, fire the event. We don't need any value of the attribute. Then we had new account list. So here we had go to. So what I want? Give an example. Controller. The controller, what I need? Okay. Now, here what I am doing? Getting the account and pushing. Here what I was supposed to do? What I was supposed to do? So, look at the context. Now we are supposed to again go for what? Helper here. We are supposed to go for helper method. Look at the point. How do you create where action equal to component dot get meet your mic, Amma. Meet your mic. Get data. $A dot NQ action. What you are supposed to do? Action dot set callback. This. This way, the helper can be used because the same query will be repeating twice. Where result equal or state equal to response dot get. Then we are supposed to do if state equal to success. Then result. What was that? Response dot get. Then set. Then same thing should also happen in twice I'm writing. So we can avoid this by taking what? Helper. If we take a helper, we can avoid one-time code. So what was the difference you are finding? There I was taking a record, adding to the list. But here I am making a software query to Apex class, getting the list of records I am trying to display. When you click on add, if the record was successfully inserted to database, when you click on add, if the record was successfully inserted to database, then we are trying to fire event. When you fire event, it is going to the Apex class, running a fresh SQL query, getting the list of record. So what was that? New account DML. Go back to this. Now the application. Anybody has a difficulty in understanding, let me know, I can repeat it. So go to the preview first. What was that? List of records. Again the CSS stuff. Right, it's okay. Now look at this. Account name, phone, industry rating. Now automatically we are getting what? List of. So many records are inserted. Now we are getting the list of records, right? It's okay. So now go back to the component. Look at this. This is how we are getting. So there are a lot of records now. Just to check out, it will be difficult for me to show you the output. Right. Right. So let me move on to this example. Just I am trying to show you a list of records. Okay. Now this is the context what I had. So look at these records. There are only few records available to me. Now when I insert the record, I was entering. This is Wipro and Dell. So we'll try to insert capital, industry, energy, or let us say education. When I click on this record, what is happening? Record should be saved to database. If the record was saved to database, it will fire an event. When it fire an event, what the parent component will do? Parent component will call a action called show. What the show is doing? Writing a SQL query, getting the fresh list of records, trying to display it. That's how we are going to get the record, right? I hope you are good with this. People are good with this. Okay. Look at the code. If anybody has any difficulty in understanding this, let me know. We'll start one by one. Apex class is clear for everyone. What was that? If record was inserted successfully, then give result equal to success. Otherwise, result equal to okay, fail. Then I was supposed to check. What was that? Here I was supposed to check here. If where result equal to response dot get if result equal to success. then call and fire the event. If result is not success, give console dot this is what I give. Look at the point. So if the record was inserted successfully, you're going to get success, otherwise failed. Then when you call get data, it is going to give you list of record. Every time I call, at that moment, whatever the data is there, the data will come. So is this Apex class is clear? Okay. So let me close off this Apex class now. Now look at the first one. What was this component? What was this component? It is registering an event, child component. What is the event name? Satish. Now what is the lightning card? Lightning card is saying account name, phone, industry, rating. It is going to take the data, account name, phone, industry, rating. Then when you click on add me, what is happening? When you click on add me, till here is good. Okay. When you click on add me, what I am doing here? Whatever the account I entered, I took the account. Attribute ACC. What is the second one we are doing? Invoke Apex class. Invoke the method from Apex class. Insert. Then pass the new account to as parameter. Then define the callback action. In the callback action, what we are doing? Check the status. Check the status of the response. If the result is success, then fire the event Satish. Fire the event with the name. Fire the event whose name is Satish. Else throw error message. Right. I hope this is clear. Get the value of account. Invoke the method. We are passing that parameter to the method. Then we are giving a callback action. If the state equal to success, get the value. If the value is success, fire the event whose name is Satish. Fire the event whose name is Satish. Right. When you fire the event, what will happen? Parent component will handle it. In the parent component, what we have taken? Accounts attribute will hold data written by software code. Then next we had fields. This will specify list of fields which we want to display in the data table. Right. Then what is that? URA handler. What is the purpose of URA handler? URA handler. Now look at the code. There is some code which is repeated here. There is some code which is repeated. So what I will do, I will take this code, go to the helper, my call, component. In the component, I wrote this. Now why? Because the same code is repeated twice. So here, what we are giving? My call dot helper dot my call. Helper dot my call. What I'm doing here? Helper dot. Now whenever I call this, what it will do? When we call the helper method, They will run the SQL query, get the value of. When you call this, it is going to run the SQL query, set the value. Then what was this? Put out. Right. Now, the first step. What was the first step here? You're a handler. What was the purpose of this? When the component is loaded, set the list of fields which you want to display in data table. The data table and call using call. So when you call this, the moment the component is getting loaded, what is happening here? Call me is called. What the call me is doing now? What the call me is doing? It is setting the field labels. How do you set the field labels? Okay, what was that? Label name, field name, and data type. We are going to set the label name of the field name of the field, data type of the field. Then set the list of fields which you want to display. Then you are calling what? Invoke helper. When you call helper, what we are doing? When you call in helper, it is going to write a SQL query. It is going to write a SQL query and it is going to display the data. I hope you got my point. I hope you got my point here. So, handler. What was this handler again? What was the next handler? This handler is for displaying the. What was this handler? This is for handling the event which is fired by child. Whatever the event the child has fired, that is to handle that event we give here. You are a handler, name equal to Satish, event. So child when you fire, parent will handle it. When you call show, whenever the event is fired by the child, it is going to call a function called show. Whenever we call a function called show, again it is running a fresh SQL query, getting the data, assigning the data to list of accounts. That's what. What was this data table? In the data table, what we have? Key field. Based on which field you will identify the record uniquely. Data, which records you want to display. Columns, which fields you want to display. Do you want checkbox? Hide the checkbox column. This is how we have created this component. I hope you are good with this. So what is this C new account? Component. So I hope everybody has followed this example, right? Then we gave parent component. When you call the parent component, this is how we got here. Clear for everyone? Right, boss? Followed, everyone has followed this example. So component level, component level, 1 minute. Component level is even is clear for everyone. Right. We'll give some use cases and one major point tomorrow at 8. Tomorrow